Week 8 of the NFL just got wrapped up. Let's take a look at our games for the week. The Dolphins won on Thursday night over the Chargers 26-21 with a touchdown with a minute and 3 on the clock by Damian Williams. The Dolphins go to 3-5 and are now third in the AFC East. The Chargers lose and go to 3-4. Both quarterbacks had decent days, other than the pick from Jay Cutler. That was the only turnover by a quarterback in the game. The final London game of the season, a 16-26 loss for the Broncos. The Colts get their second win of the season. Jacoby Brissett had his best game of his career. Trevor Siemian, he threw a touchdown and a pick. That's an error right there. But Robert Turbin did a good day on the ground for Indianapolis as the Colts defense really held the Broncos in check in the second half. Then the Chiefs went to Carolina and took on the Panthers, a 33-24 victory. Kansas City and Carolina, this was a quick game. 6 drives by Kansas City, 7 by Carolina. Kansas City, they scored on every one of their drives. They put up 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. Smith threw for all those touchdowns. Travis Kelce with 112 receiving yards, the most of a tight end this year. Cam Newton, he was accurate. He just didn't throw for a bunch of yards, short completions by Carolina. The Eagles had some trouble with the Redskins last time. They go to Landover, and the Eagles, they don't have trouble this time. 37-24. The Eagles go to 5-3. Washington falls to 2-6. That is 3 straight losses for the Redskins. Kirk Cousins with a late interception, which pretty much sealed the deal for the Eagles. Carson Wentz had a fantastic day, throwing for 3 touchdowns. This was supposed to be a highlight video, but due to issues, it didn't happen. But the Bucs win 38-32 in overtime against the Falcons. The Bucs were down 22 in regulation, and they came back and tied it to force overtime. So that joins the only 4 comebacks in the Madden simulation history. 23-point comeback by Minnesota this year. The Bucs just did a 22-point comeback. Dallas has done a 22-point comeback, and so has the Seahawks. They did a 21-point comeback. But anyway, Buffalo, a rainy day in New York, but the Bills win 13-0. The Jets, 83 passing yards. That's a low in franchise history. The Bills, however, Tyrod Taylor, he threw for a decent amount of yards. I mean, it was pouring and windy in Buffalo. I mean, no one could catch the ball. It just was a miserable day in New York. But the Rams and the Saints, they played in a dome. The Saints win 35-28. They had control for almost the entire game, and the Rams fall to 5-3. This team is starting to struggle near the end of the regular season, but Tavon Austin having a good day for the Rams. Drew Brees throwing for 4 touchdowns. New Orleans 5-2, now second in the AFC South. The Rams are second in the NFC West. Then the Steelers, who are undefeated, they lose on the road in Minnesota, 34-27. The Vikings, they lost 2 straight at one point, but now they've won 2 straight, 5-3 on the season. Case Keenum, really good day through the air. Big Ben, he struggled in the second half, and the Steelers are now second in the AFC standings. They're 6-1. Minnesota progresses to 5-3, second in the NFC North behind Green Bay. Cincinnati, they lose in Tennessee. The Titans have won 4 in a row after starting 0-4. Cincinnati off their bye week. It was not fun for them. Dalton threw 2 picks, one of them coming late in the fourth quarter. Mariota, he threw for 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, career best rushing day. Rashard Matthews, 2 touchdowns. I mean, the Titans have just started to figure it out, and they look like contenders, just like they were last year. The Bengals were supposed to be a decent team this year. The Patriots, they win 35-17 in Santa Clara. The 49ers, who upset Seattle, now they fall to possibly the best team in the NFL. C.J. Beathard threw for 2 picks. Tom Brady threw for 3 touchdowns. Brady has only thrown 1 pick this year. Edelman, 5 receptions, 75 yards, and a touchdown. The Niners with Jimmy G, we'll see if he gets a chance in the coming future since Beathard isn't doing so well. The Ravens, they win 21-6 over the Browns. The Baltimore Ravens are starting to creep back into that playoff picture. The Browns have not won a game. Them and Chicago both are the only winless teams in the league. DeShone Kizer's turned over the ball the most out of any quarterback in the NFL this year. Crowell held the only rushing touchdown, but the extra point was blocked by Baltimore. Flacco for 201 yards through the air, a touchdown and a pick. America's game of the week, Arizona went to Seattle, a 34-21 game. The Cardinals kept it close until the fourth quarter, and that's when Seattle put up 10 points, was able to outrun the Cardinals, who were trying to come back. Carson Palmer had a good day, 22 for 37, 191 yards and 2 TDs. Wilson threw for 3 TDs. And then see Rawls and Baldwin had one for Seattle. Johnson Nelson had some for the Cardinals. Sunday Night Football went to Ford Field. The Packers won 23-13 over the Lions. The Packers are the only undefeated team left in the league. Rodgers with another solid day, just not too accurate in the second half. Matt Stafford, who's still trying to recover from the ankle, he didn't look too well at all. Golden Tate with the big day receiving. So hopefully the Lions and Matt Stafford will get back healthy, because next week they take on a division rival in the Vikings. Monday Night Football, the Jaguars knock off the Raiders, 2 straight losses for Oakland. They drop to 5-3. Jacksonville goes to 4-3 and lead the AFC South. Derek Carr, it wasn't fun for the Raiders. He got sacked 5 times by the Jaguar defense. But nevertheless, the Raiders, they have a tough game next week against Tennessee. And Blake Bortles with a solid day for Jacksonville. 4 teams on a bye: Chicago, Dallas, Houston, and New York were the bye teams. The only winning team in that mix is the Cowboys. We go to the AFC standings. Due to Pittsburgh's loss, New England goes to number 1. As Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Jacksonville, Oakland, and Buffalo has that last playoff spot for the moment. Baltimore, Tennessee, Cincinnati, and the Chargers all in the hunt for that spot. Then in the NFC, Green Bay, Dallas, Seattle, Atlanta, the Saints, and the Eagles all creep in with Minnesota, Los Angeles, and Detroit in the hunt for that playoff spot, followed by Carolina and Tampa Bay. This is American Sports Coverage, signing off.